Hey, I'm Matt. This is the 10-Minute Bible Hour, and I am in beautiful Granada, Nicaragua, where I get to play a little teeny tiny part in a much bigger, really good idea that I think, in a way, is kind of revolutionary in the history of Christianity. Don't get me wrong, I didn't think of this. Like I said, I'm just the helper on the side, but I'm going to make a video and tell you about this thing because I really do think it's a big deal. All right, I got to shut up because I got this thing going on right now. What you're looking at here is a room full of pastors and non-pastors from a whole bunch of different brands of Christianity who are getting together to attend a Bible and theology training seminar put on by this group called IBAC. IBAC stands for Bible Institutes of Central America, and I know the letters don't line up, but if you put it in Spanish, it all works out. This guy is Jim Wilson, and he's the dude who thought of this. So I asked him to simply explain what he's going for with this program.
What we're trying to do is bring theological education, biblical training to pastors in Latin America who do not have any opportunity to receive that kind of training.
So what we're talking about here is Christian missions. And missions sounds a little fancy and self-important. I get it, but that's the word that we've used for it historically, so I'm going to stick with it. But it refers to this impulse that Christians have had since the beginning of the religion to take the message of Jesus beyond their cultural boundaries. And that's looked a lot of different ways, but in the modern age, in the age of exploration and on, it's looked like this. Somebody from the West sells their stuff and is plucked out of their environment into a non-Western environment, surrounded by people they don't have a ton in common with, trying to figure out how to communicate with them linguistically and culturally to get stuff across about God and the Bible and Christianity. At this point in history, we've been doing that for several hundred years. High adventure kind of stuff, but it's been fairly effective. Not everybody's obviously signing up for it, but a bunch of people have, and even those people who aren't into it have heard about Jesus, and there's still a few exceptions. So you've got this old school model of missions, the one where you pluck somebody out and drop them into a new environment, that still persists and probably still has value. I don't know, I'm not an expert. But what I like about what Jim's doing is it is proposing a new approach to missions. One that says, they got churches and pastors all over the place, and they've been here for generations. And everything about them is equipped and ready to go and to be great at this stuff, except for one thing. There just aren't always as many theological training resources in these other languages and in these other parts of the world. So rather than going and setting up shop in a place, what if, at a much lower cost, we just sent people in a couple times a year for a few days to go and help pastors who are asking for a hand on the resource side? And then what if we get out of their way and just let them do their thing, since they know their culture and their people way better than we ever could?
We're not imposing U.S. norms. We're not trying to build U.S. Christianity into Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Guatemala, Honduras, anywhere in Central America, or for that matter, anywhere in the world. What we're trying to do is bring the principles of the gospel, which are transcultural, into this place so that these people can reach their own.
Practically speaking, here's what this different approach to missions looks like when IBAC does it. They connect with American churches and ask those American churches to partner with communities in Latin America filled with pastors who are saying, hey, we could use some resources, we'd love to have your help. So then, with that invitation in hand, an American church like ours goes down twice a year over the course of 7 years to process through 14 rounds of curriculum that looks just like this. Jim and his buddies wrote this stuff, and it's basically seminary in a box. It's really smart, good content without a ton of theological bias. It's designed to just give people the basics of the brand of Christianity that they're a part of. But in addition to this, those groups also include people who go down to do other redemptive stuff in the communities that they're a part of. So for example, this last time around, my wife went and taught classes on English as a second language. My friend Heather went down and she taught a bunch of women in these churches how to sew a particular type of bag that's cheap to make, but that they can sell. And again, make a few extra dollars on the side to help support their families. ¿Qué piensa en este modelo de misiones en general?
Fantástico. Creo que todos creyentes debería involucrarse, a lo menos en una o dos oportunidades de un un programa de visión, de misión a corto plazo, por una semana o 2 semanas. Yo creo y recomiendo a mi iglesia que lo haga. Es muy enriquecedor cuando vamos a un país y podemos compartir un tiempo con ellos.
¿Siente usted que los seminarios de IVAC son útiles para los pastores en Granada?
Absolutamente, muy necesarios, son de gran bendición a nuestras vidas. De hecho, la mayoría de los pastores que hemos podido estar, estamos aquí, los que estamos trabajando, nos ayuda al crecimiento, nos ayuda a tener más claridad de la palabra de Dios y así poder enseñar a las almas.
I asked Jim to take a stab at putting his whole big plan into one simple nutshell.
Let's go and equip them to reach their own people. That's what we do.
If people want to know more about this, like straight from you, how do they look you up?
Jim.wilson@efca.org.
Jim.wilson@efca.org. That's how you get them. Simple enough. Thank you so much, my friend.
You're welcome.
So we just finished up, the place is clearing out, and this is always kind of the sad moment at the end, like the last day of camp, where you say goodbye to everybody and hugs all around. But the bottom line is this. It made sense for a really long period of time to do missions the way we did it. If you want to tell people about Jesus in another part of the world, you get somebody from Europe or America who's willing to learn the culture and the language and go try for the rest of their life. I still think there's a place for that, but again, what's so cool about this is that rather than us descending on high to come down here and solve Nicaragua, we just come down for a few days and get to partner up with a bunch of hyper-competent people who know the language and know the culture and know what they're doing and just are asking for a little bit of help in terms of some training and some resources, which we can do. So I think it's fun. I think it's cool. I'm interested to hear what you think about it as well. Either way, thanks for letting me share this thing that I'm excited about. I'm Matt. It's 10-Minute Bible Hour. I'll see you soon.